Okay, hi Dina. Let's take a look at this letter. Albion. Okay. Dear Sir, Madam, I'm writing in response to your letter and would like to apologize for not attending the exam 21-5 because I was seriously sick. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Carla Richard, a student of English Literature, Albion University. ID number this, case number this. Okay. A couple of things. This was fine. And then I'm never really a big fan of this, let me do this, let us discuss, let us whatever. It just feels a little too forceful. It's academic language. You're supposed to be formal. You're supposed to be polite. So I always say, no, don't let us do anything. So instead what you could have said is just, you could have skipped this entire sentence. You could have just said, my name is this. And then you should have really had commas here. They're not sentences. This is not a sentence. This is not a sentence. So it should have just been one continuous sentence. My name is Carla Richard, a student of English Literature at Albion University, comma, ID number this, comma, case number this, and then you would have been fine. In the morning of 21st of May, I felt a bit feverish and experienced a sense of dizziness and nausea. However, I ignored the symptoms because I had to sit the exam. The moment I arrived at the college, I lost my consciousness. Surprisingly, when I woke up, I found myself in Albion Central Hospital, where I was diagnosed with severe intestinal... I have no idea what that is. No idea. I tried to contact my colleagues to submit the medical report, but unfortunately my mobile phone was lost. Therefore, would you please accept my apologies and give me the chance to sit the exam again? I have attached, not detached, I have attached my medical evidence below. Once again, I apologize for any inconvenience. Best regards. Okay. It's fine, but there are some big problems. Let's talk about what they are. Did you apologize? Yes. Did you identify yourself? Yes. Did you explain what happened? Yes. Did you give possible resolutions? Well, you didn't. You gave one resolution. You asked to resit the exam. That's one resolution, whereas it clearly asks for resolutions, because you can see that it's plural there. So that means at least two resolutions are necessary in order to, for the examiner to consider that you have completed this bullet. Okay? IELTS is very tricky like that. They do things like this. So you have to be really, really aware of this and make sure that you understand the bullets fully. The next problem that I saw here, which is not super huge, but it is a style question. So you don't know the name of the person you're writing to, which means that the appropriate sign-off in a formal letter would be yours faithfully. It's one of the conventions of letter writing. So those are the things that I would change. Other than that, it was lovely. It was fine. You did what you were supposed to do. No major problems. So just go ahead and correct those issues, and let's see what you write in your next set. You do have a task 2, so let's look at that as well. Okay, this is the one about local food, so let's see what you said. Experts from both the developing and developed world have debated, not would, get rid of the would, have debated whether locally produced or imported foods have a greater effect on our life. This essay will discuss why I believe locally produced fresh food usually has much greater benefits environmentally and economically, using examples from the UK government and Oxford University, capital U, studies to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay, fine. Moving on. On the one hand, there is ample evidence that imported groceries may have some basic benefits. The central reason behind this assumption is twofold. Firstly, imported fruits and vegetables provide us with different kinds of foodstuffs which cannot be produced regionally, such as kiwi. Secondly, from a political angle, this process often enhances the strategic relationships between countries which depend on their needs. For example, an empirical study by the UK government demonstrated that around 70% of all grocery products are imported from overseas, which contributes largely to their economic industry. Therefore, it is conclusively clear that the process of importing and exporting foods strengthens political boundaries. Okay, it's a lovely paragraph. It's interesting, but it's not on topic. You're supposed to be talking about local food. Local food. Is it better for the environment and economy if we only eat local food? Okay? So all of this is really irrelevant. I mean, I understand that you're saying in an indirect way, no, it's not better if we eat only local, but you went about it by talking about the opposite point of view. Okay? So I hope that makes sense. You are basically indirectly talking about the topic, but that's not what you're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to be directly addressing local food. Is it better for the environment and economy if we only eat that and nothing else? Okay? So you could have reframed all of this, again, under this foundation of, and under this kind of framework of local food, and you could have said similar things, but again, framing it with local food as your guide and not so much why imported food is better. All right, let's see the next paragraph. On the other hand, even though there is a case of some benefits for, no, I think it's a case, there is a case for the benefits of internationally produced foodstuffs, the drawbacks cannot be overstated. This is largely because local production serves, let's see, this is largely because local production serves a country's labor market more by opening the doors for employment. It cannot be forgotten that environmentally, fresh food does not usually require the usage of much pesticides, many, and preservatives, which cause, get rid of that, S, environmental health hazards. For instance, an extensive study by Oxford University stated that around 30% of the internationally imported fruits and vegetables are sprayed with carcinogenic chemicals. Thus, it's possible to state that they would have tremendous hazards on our modern-day life. All right, where is the support for this argument here? You said that it opens the doors for employment, but I still think you should have said a little bit more about this. It's just underdeveloped. And then you talked about this, that was fine. But I definitely wanted to hear more about the economic benefits of local food, and I didn't see much development about that. Okay, so moving on. To conclude from the previous arguments and examples given, I firmly agree that although internationally produced foodstuffs provide an invaluable get rid of the and. Provide invaluable content to our lives, the role of the regionally produced food is much more practical. It is predicted that fresh foods will have a greater influence on our health in the years to come. Okay, so I think I've been pretty clear about this. Your grammar is good for the most part. Your vocabulary is also good for the most part. But for me, the biggest problem here is with your task achievement. The fact that you didn't talk really here about what you were supposed to be talking about. It felt a little off topic. And then here you had some good things to say, but you didn't really fully develop them as much as you should have. So those are some areas I would like to see improved in this essay. All right? But again, like I said, your grammar is good, your vocabulary is good, the structure is good. You've been applying the template, so that's all well done. So go ahead and correct these, return them back to us, and let's see your next set. Okay? We'll be here waiting, so good luck with those.